Meme stocks are memeing today. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Tuesday. Today's October 7th, here with a super quick market update. One of the biggest gainers of today, please, if you're a beginner, stay away from this. It's a complete hyped up play. Today, it looks like for TMQ, which again, 24 hours ago, you probably never heard of it because it literally meant nothing. But today, there is an announcement that supposedly the U.S. government or the Trump administration is taking a stake, gaining equity of TMQ, therefore acting as a positive catalyst, driving the price up. The pump has already happened. Yeah, maybe this thing can run up a little bit more. If you want to take on that risk, be my guest. But this thing is up 236% already, which means that, again, if it begins to peak, there's a lot of retracement potential. Just a little heads up on that. The other stock that I quickly want to talk about is ORCL. I'm sure some of you guys have already seen the news, but it's already beginning to make a recovery. So it looks like ORCL has announced a $100 million loss. So it says ORCL extends its decline 6% on the day. At one point, it was down 7%, based off of the report that it has lost $100 million from rentals of the NVIDIA chips in the most recent quarter. So big ORCL news from information. ORCL has lost nearly $100 million from rentals of Blackwell chips in its most recent quarter. ORCL's gross profit margin from rentals of servers averaged 16% in the past year. Internal ORCL data shows that financial challenge of renting out NVIDIA chips. My takeaway is this doesn't seem to be a demand issue, also known as ORCL not finding customers for renting their GPUs, but rather seems to be a margin issue. And that's what everyone is highlighting right now, that the margins that ORCL currently has on its AI cloud business operates are razor thin and potentially challenging the profitability of its ambitious AI expansion. Again, for those that do not know, ORCL has generated approximately $900 million from rentals of servers powered by NVIDIA chips in the last 3 months ending in August, with a gross profit of just $125 million, translating to about 14% gross margins. This figure is lower than many tech's retail businesses, that falls below what many equity analysts have estimated. So, in simple words, ORCL has this AI cloud-based business, and it is powered by with the chips that it has from NVIDIA. And because it having that strategic partnership that it announced earlier with NVIDIA, obviously they're making a big investment into this kind of vertical of their business, right? But now it looks like that vertical of their business, their margins are simply they're less than what they expected, what many analysts expected. So it's just below, I would say, the industry standard for this type of business because their margins are just 14% gross margins. Because of that, again, it wasn't something that was factored in. Everyone gets super excited when companies are investing into AI, which makes sense. AI is kind of like the shiny new toy in Wall Street. That's the best way to put it, right? Everyone loves it when you talk about it and you say it in your earnings call. The stock continues to rocket. Great. But at the end of the day, it's still a business. And if that business is not bringing that same type of ROI, or especially when it comes down to that kind of business, if it doesn't even meet industry standards, then at that point, why are you pouring such a large investment into it? Because at the end of the day, if it ends up not paying off, if it ends up not yielding the same type of return or the return that they were expecting, then they're most likely going to invest less into it. And if they invest less, then of course, ORCL begins to step away. That means less business for NVIDIA, and then the dominoes begin to fall apart. With that being said, it's just some news, right? It's just something that wasn't factored in. Now it is. But as many of you guys know, it just keeps getting bought up. ORCL saw a sell-off to lows of 271. Now it's trading at highs of 283. So it's recovered nearly or more than half of what it lost. So it just shows how willing the market is to buy into the dip. So, and also for the NASDAQ market, we did see a nice retracement, lower highs, lower lows. I'm all for it, right? A lot of you guys were messaging me, look, Ricky, your first day trading back, you got exactly what you wanted. Sure, right? Especially yesterday because yesterday wasn't the day that my son was born, but it was the first trading day available. I was still at the hospital, so I didn't trade yesterday. With the market selling off today, we did a beautiful job within our LPP group. I made it very clear of like, hey, I'm only going to short the market if NASDAQ market begins to sell off. I only want to short if the overall market environment supports it. I waited for confirmation. The sell-off began to happen, and then I shorted a specific stock that I shared with my LPP team. I made a little bit over $4,000, got in, got out, made my money and bounced. As soon as the NASDAQ began to show signs of a support, that stock began to find support and began to recover. I took profits. Again, you cannot hesitate in taking profits in this market. Markets, even if they're selling off a little bit, look at this. Yeah, it gave back what it gained yesterday. Markets are exactly where they were back on Friday. And there is no break of support at 600. 600 is going to be a very strong support. At that point, we need a little bit more of a significant trigger to cause the market to sell off. So as of right now, NASDAQ market's at a support range, which means the overall market's at a possible support range, which supports the case that it can get bought up here and markets can begin to recover, which is a great reminder of, hey, never be afraid to take profits on the shorts. The bulls are willing to buy into the dips. They're continuously bringing the markets to new highs. And this is not a time where the bears can be greedy. I'm repeating this over and over again because I don't want you to get it twisted. Just because I'm willing to short doesn't mean that I'm naive to the idea that markets are more bullish than bearish. When I see an opportunity to short, I take it, but it's very limited, and I get in and I get out and I make my money. Never hesitate to take profits on your short during an irrational market like this, because all those BS stocks that we all continue to see here, ORCL, again, just as quick as they gain 5, 10, 15%, they gain it back. They give it back, right? ORCL is one of them. TEM is another. MSTR is a great sell-off. We talked about this one during our LPP live trading session today. This thing was overbought. Bitcoin made new all-time highs. Yeah, MSTR was still down 45% from 35% from previous all-time highs. There's just so much trash in this market. But remember, irrational markets support irrational valuations. So put your money where your mouth is. If you think that these stocks are truly the future, then buy as much as you can afford at these elevated levels. But you know you won't, because you know they're worthless. You know that all of these stocks, TEM, ORCL, Irene, they're all bullshit companies that are pumping while irrational markets support that environment. But as soon as reality sinks in, because a lot of these companies don't make money, they're pre-revenue, they're just passion projects with good ideas and a good story and good price momentum. But none of them make money. They all, if anything, lose money. And the growth quarter after quarter does not support the irrational valuations that they have. At least that's my opinion, which is why I'm willing to short them. So if you are so bullish on them, I challenge you. Buy as much as you can afford right now at these elevated levels. And I reassure you that you won't, because you know that they're overvalued, overbought, and looking at simple risk to reward, the upside potential does not outweigh the huge downside risk. ORCL being an amazing example of this. No one thinks ORCL is a good deal. It was a good trade. Two very different things. A good investment versus a good trade. With good story and good price momentum, that's been the story for 2025. Get in, get out, make your money and bounce. I respect that. We're all here for the same reason. That's to make money. Let's not sugarcoat it. But understand and respect the difference between a momentum trade, and that's what ORCL is, versus an actual good investment. Those that are over leveraged, buy on margin at these overbought levels, you know, or if you don't, you will soon, that when markets begin to correct themselves and reality begins to sink in, those are the people that will take the biggest hit because they're over leveraged. They're going to get margin called and give back everything that they gained and then some. Please remember, there's no such thing as a perfect trade or a perfect investment. If you made a sizable return, just be mindful of your position size, and hopefully you do your part in looking out for your future self and take profits when it makes sense. Again, these are concepts that we talk about that are so simple within our LPP team. You don't need to join. But again, this is why so many people enjoy trading with us every morning, because it's the reminder that a lot of these beginners need every single morning. And that's what we do. So again, we go live every single morning right at market open. If you have this all figured out on your own, I wish you nothing but the best. But again, if you would like to dive a little bit deeper, you want to be held accountable for your actions and encouraged to focus on healthy habits, because that's all we can do, right? Second link in the description down below. Not only do you get access to our LPP 3.0 lesson library that's designed for complete beginners, but you also get to watch me trade live every single day. And I want to remind you, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. So whenever you're ready, if you are, second link down below. If not, again, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll do my part in keeping you guys up to date with overall market news. So big news today was the ORCL $100 million loss. And other than that, looks like markets are slightly correcting themselves from the rally that we had yesterday, but markets are still at the same level that they were on Friday. So markets are not crashing. They're just pulling back to the same levels and same support that we were on Friday. Let's not get it twisted, right? Very excited to follow up. I'll do my part in keeping you guys up to date. Hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team, and happy Tuesday.